Hello, Aries. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Art Nouveau by Matt Myers. I don't know if it's focusing. Hopefully you can see that. That way if you want to find these artists or their stuff, even though this one's from 1989, you think I'd remember that by now. But if they have anything else out, who knows? There you go. Supportive Oracle Cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle Cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen. There's how you spell Gretchen's last name. Again, that way if you want to find these artists or other work they might have done, you can do that. Aries. What's going on with Aries? You're definitely going to make good on this. I don't know if this is going well or not. I got to be honest with you. I'm not really sure if this is going to go well or not. But whatever's happening here, you're making good on it. Kind of like whatever I've been dragged through, I didn't go through it for nothing. So, you know, sometimes when you go through life, you feel like somebody threw you down the stairs and you're like, what was the point? This is not going to be that. Are you going to be thrown down the stairs, by the way? Is that going to happen here? It's not that bad. Okay, so it's not that bad. But I feel like this is to deal with somebody that you're trying to understand better. You're hopeful for somebody. Hopeful. But when you really take a look at them, you're just kind of like... They seem to be... It's like 1 minute they seem to make complete sense. The next minute you're like, who is this person? You just can't seem to put your finger on, like... why they do some of the things they do. They seem to be, ironically, they do seem to be honest, but the thing is, they might be honest in the moment. Kind of like, they'll tell you what they think, and that would be true for that moment. But a couple days pass, and for some reason they just change their mind, and they go a different direction. And you really see it for that. Like, you see them for who they are. Kind of like, they change their mind that quickly, and you're just kind of like... I don't know what to do with them. Ironically, because they are honest with you, but they change their mind so quickly that it makes things a little bit disruptive. And you can be very spontaneous, but it's kind of like, you know, when you have bills to pay and you have a job to go to, yeah, you might want to quit your job, but it doesn't mean you're gonna unless you find something else to pay for those bills. This other person, though, they might tell you, you know, no, I got to stay at this job. I got to make money so I can pay my bills. Yet 2 days later, they walk out, and you're just like, what happened? This happened and that happened. I just couldn't stand it anymore. I had to leave. I didn't think I was going to, but I had to. And you're like, you understand that they were planning on staying, but then things changed. Even they may shock themselves. So you're trying to figure out how to deal with them. You try to help them get control of their own life, and you try to give them information, but I'm getting here, the release here is like you don't have control over them, nor do you really want to, but at the same time you feel bad. For some reason you feel bad that you can't seem to make them figure out or help them solidify. Like, you try to be honest with them, like, yeah, I understand wanting to be spontaneous, but in certain things in life you can't just do that. You can't take, you know, your rent money and gamble it away and then wonder why you got evicted at the end of the month. You can't just do that. You gotta have some sense of responsibility. You might want to be spontaneous, but you gotta know when to kind of hold it back and keep it down. And, you know, maybe later, but not right now. One of those things. You're trying to help this person, and it's frustrating because you're like, you understand that they're trying to be honest with you and they're trying to do the right thing, but they're out of control. There might be a reason for that. There might be like some type of weird imbalance with that. When I say weird imbalance, could be brain function, could be chemical related, like they're consuming something, could be the way that they grew up, and it could be literally like they're emotionally short-circuiting. They're emotionally short-circuiting. For some of them, it could be like they think they're going to go one direction. They tell themselves they're going to go this direction. They try to make themselves go this one direction. Then something happens and they emotionally short-circuit, and they go completely a different direction, but they have like an emotional breakdown, which kind of throws them to the side. Um, they there's a lot. I'm trying to connect to this energy, but it does not feel stable. So I feel your energy trying to kind of just, you're trying to figure it out, but you don't know what to do. When I get the rejection, I'm really getting like you're really trying to figure out what to do. You're trying to find another way that they can maybe get their life under control. They matter to you. This person goes through a lot of stress and a lot of pain. You're looking from the outside in, and you're just kind of like, yeah, but they create a lot of it themselves. But for some reason, you're close enough to really see that they don't have control of themselves. And that's the problem. And you're just like, that's kind of like square one. Like, how do they get control of themselves? If they could get control of themselves, this could go much better. But you're realizing they're not in control of their own emotions. They just seem to be like, they're like a feather floating in the wind. Whatever way the wind goes, that's where the feather goes. The feather has no control over where it's going. And that's how they seem to be living their life. And you're just kind of like, they need some type of extra help that you can't give them. They seem to be getting worse too. I'm getting this with the expansion. I didn't want to see it that way. Things seem to be getting worse for them with expansion. And you really want to help them, but you're like, I would love to help them, but I think they need somebody way beyond my capabilities. If you could help them, sure. But it's not really happening. They're hitting a bump here, by the way. Things seem to get worse, and then I feel like rock bottom might be there for this person. Oh, that's okay. Let's keep going. I don't know. Hopefully it's helpful. The Justice card is coming forward with the, what's that word? Impatience. They make one too many random decisions. There is some type of legal recourse. For most of you, it's going to be some type of legal recourse this person is getting. To where they might have, they might be forced into some type of program or situation. They might be forced into that. Because things fall apart, and just something falls apart really dramatically to the point where they have to find another way to deal with things. You're again watching from the outside. You're just trying. I just feel like this is one of those things where you can't do anything. That's why you got the Chariot. You're here. You want to help, but there's not much you can do. You're watching from the outside, and you're hopeful that this is going to actually turn this around. Like, this is not a good moment for this other person. But you're hopeful, like, well, I didn't really want this for them, but now that it happened, hopefully this balances things out and puts things in focus. Hopefully. You're hopeful. Hopeful. The Chariot is telling me you're looking forward. You're kind of going forward into the future. Like, you're like, well, for right now, I can't do anything, but here in the future, out there in the future, if this does balance, if this does come into focus, I may have an opportunity to help them stay in focus if they can get control of this themselves. They're going to be having an issue. Somebody else beyond you is forcing this person to get themselves under control. Life is taking over here in the sense of like, has nothing to do with what you want or think or what they want or think. The situation is too out of control. There's a third energy coming in and saying they will get this under control. It is not going to happen anymore like this. That's this energy, the Queen of Pentacles, which is the Queen of Coins in this situation, in this deck. Something else is forcing the situation to balance and solidify and come down. It's kind of like that feather floating around. Enough of that. Rain is hitting that feather. It's getting wet. It's hitting the ground. It's sticking to the ground. It's going to stay on the ground is how this is being treated. It will no longer float in the wind. It's no longer allowed to float in the wind. This other person does not like this, but they understand that it has to happen at the same time. They don't like it, but they understand that this has to happen. Like, there's like, I don't know how to say it. It's almost like when you have to eat your vegetables as a kid, you don't like it, but you know it's the right thing to do. That type of energy. Like, don't like it, don't want to, have no way around it type feel. The Lover's card is a little skewed too. It's kind of like this is going to balance the situation. This is what needs to happen. But this other person has to engage with the situation. They have to accept it and they have to work with it. Until they accept it and work with it, it's not going to work out. At this point, you need to stay back until this other person accepts their situation and accepts the help that's being pushed on them. They're being forced to improve. They're being forced to improve is what I'm getting. Your energy needs to pull back and just wait for the right time, because I'm getting prayer on your side is kind of like you still want to help. You still want to make this go better for this person. At this point, though, you need to wait to the side. Let that they have to accept that they need to fix this. You can't give them an out. Do not give them an out to this. I feel like most of you won't, but some of you may be tempted. So that's why we're putting that there. The death card has to come forward on this other person's side with the impassable. They have to own it. They have to accept the help and they have to start adhering to it. Whatever it is they have to do, they don't like it. But only when they accept it, only when they accept that help, will things get better. I'm getting the hiccups really bad. Like, this is still not easy for them. This is still not easy for them, but they have to accept that this is how it has to be. They have to own it. When this happens, when they are finally accepting it and owning it themselves, I'm getting the 10 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the Strength card on your side. Even when they've accepted it, they're still at a very bad place in this situation. They're still in a very bad moment. And you're really kind of like, it's gone so bad at this point, can it really get better? And you're starting to question that. It's hard for you to watch this, is what I'm getting. It's really hard for you to watch this, but I'm also getting the enlightenment on your card, on your side. The card on your side is enlightenment. The only way this gets better is for them to go through this. The only way for this to get better is for them to do it. There's really, at this point, it's still not your time. I feel you're still connected with this person, and you still can be connected with this person. You just got to be careful to not be a means for them to regress, because you do care. You do care. And it's for you to stay on point and to think to yourself, it's kind of like giving a diabetic sugar, and you know that they don't handle it well. You're thinking, if I just give them this big piece of cake, they want it, but are they gonna, could they possibly die if I give that to them? So it's almost like I can't even bring the cake. I'm not even going to bring a cake. I'm not going to bring any sugar. Whatever they're doing, that's what they're doing. I will not bring anything. I will not supply anything in that message, in that means. I just won't bring it. If I don't bring it, if I don't have it, I can't give it. And that's the enlightenment on your side. Kind of like, at this point, whatever it is this other person wants or might enable them to regress, you're just not supplying that possibility. And that's basically what you're doing at this point. You're just not supplying that possibility. That's all you can do. Because I feel like you're still emotionally connected and you're helping this person move forward. You're giving this person a chance. You just got to be very on point. Like, for example, I don't know, the diabetic. I'm feeling the diabetic who just has no control over their diabetes. You know they want that big piece of cake. You just won't bring any sugar. That's your connection. I just won't bring any sugar. I won't bring any means to get sugar. That's it. And then whatever they do, that's them owning their own situation. If I'm just not going to add to it in any way, like you're just not. You're not even going to bring some for yourself to enjoy. You're not going to have pieces of candy in your pocket. You're not going to bring a soft drink for you to enjoy. No, because they're going to want some of it. And you're like, no, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Ironically, when you do that and you just will not enable them in any, not in no color, shape, form, fashion, you're like, I'm not even going to bring anything that they could possibly use to that end. This is where you're really helping them. Because when you won't help them go to their own demise, even though it seems very harsh on your side and you don't understand how that's really helping them, you being there is really showing them how much they matter to you. You not giving them the ability to even negotiate with you. Not even negotiate with you. So like now when they see you, for example, I'm going to use that diabetic thing again. When they see you, they're like, well, you don't have any candy, so you don't have any sugar on you, so why even, I'm not even going to ask. It takes off a mound of stress. Like the stress goes down way low. They don't have very much stress with you because they don't have that panic or that need to try to convince you to give them what they want or anything like that, because they're just going to automatically assume you don't have it anyway. You didn't bring it. You purposely didn't bring it. So there's nothing for me like that to get from you. Brings the stress level way down for them. Wisdom comes forward. This is where things really start to get better for them because you're still connected with them. And they don't see you as a possibility, even a possibility to enable them, because you won't allow it. You don't even bring it around them. You won't bring it. No. It's like the diabetic thing again. I don't have any sugar. I don't bring any soft drinks for myself. No candy, no nothing. If you bring something for yourself to enjoy, maybe it's milk or something that, I think milk has sugar in it. So like what? Salsa water? Maybe salsa water and water itself. I don't know. Things that have no, maybe you have black coffee or plain tea, something with nothing in it. You bring something to eat. It's going to be like a piece of cheese and some ham. You're not bringing anything with sugar in it. Maybe a couple vegetables. Who knows? You're not enabling them at all. That literally is solidifying this and making this situation so much better. To you, it feels like you're not really doing that much. But to them, you're showing that you still connect with them and that you're doing everything you can to not give them even a chance to screw it up. It makes things easier for them. And when it brings that stress level down, that's where things really start getting better for them. All right. I think we're good. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.